Linda, did your daughter move up from 8th grade to 9th?
Yes.
So she had this, you went to the ceremony or watched the
We
ceremony?
are live.
Virtual. The real ceremony, or the live ceremony, I should say, will be July 22nd.
Right. Yesterday was the virtual.
Right.
And that was
We are
done
now
well.
streaming
Monday was
live.
virtual. Monday.
Yeah, it was done well though.
It was. They left it.
Due to the public health emergency caused by coronavirus, the mayor and borough council meetings will conduct all council meetings remotely and by electronic means without providing a physical meeting place. Additionally, while the council will continue to meet on their regularly scheduled meeting dates, please note that the time for the work sessions has been changed to a new commencement time of 6 p.m. The regular council meeting will continue to commence as soon as possible after the work session. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-6, the Open Public Meetings Act, and in adherence to the Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government Services guidelines, the work session and the regular council meeting will be open to the public by electronic means. And as such, members of the public may view the meeting by live stream on YouTube at Kenilworth TV NJ. Agendas will be posted for the public's viewing on the borough's official website at www.kenilworthnj.com. Any member of the public wishing to participate in the meeting can do so by emailing comments relative to the agenda and/or any governmental issue a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the borough of Kenilworth at boroughclerk@kenilworthnj.org no later than noon of the corresponding meeting date, and as always the case, must include the public member's full name and address and the topic to which the comments are being referred for the record. Mayor?
Making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk has prepared a schedule of the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Here.
Councilman Clementi?
Here.
Councilman David? He's just logging in now. Councilman Ladati? Councilman Lopez?
Here.
And Councilman Shelkey.
Here.
Okay. Has everyone read over the agenda, the items on the agenda?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. As we continue to open up, we are enjoying more freedom, such as shopping and getting a haircut. County picnic areas will be open and reservations can be made to use them. A maximum of 250 people. This number will increase to 500 on July 3rd if the COVID-19 outbreak continues to trend down. Currently, there are 169,415 cases of COVID-19 in New Jersey, 16,304 cases in Union County, and 153 cases in Kenilworth. I hope everyone takes advantage of the outdoor dining along the boulevard and patronize our restaurants and retail establishments in the borough. They need your support now more than ever. Parks will be opening on July 2nd. Graduations and other outdoor gatherings will be permitted after July 6th. Malls will be opening back up and life as we know it is resembling more normalcy. Dog parks, tennis courts, archery range, and golf courses have reopened with adjustments. Social distancing is required and masks are strongly recommended. I would like to take a moment to recognize the anniversary of the Women's Service Integration Act, enacted June 12th, 1948, a United States law that allowed women to become permanent regular members of our armed forces. I'm grateful to all the women who have made tremendous advances in traditional male-dominated cultures. Thank you. Please count yourself in the census. Kenilworth is currently counted at 74.2%. Also, I'm sure everyone has received their mail-in vote by mail ballot. I encourage everyone to please fill it out and mail it. If you opt to go to the polls on July 7th, please be aware that you'll still be voting using a paper ballot this election. Also, a reminder that St. Teresa's Food Bank has new hours. They are open the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. In efforts to keep residents in the tri-state area safe, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut have issued a joint travel advisory. All individuals traveling from states with significant COVID-19 community spread must be quarantined for 14 days. This includes any state with an infection rate higher than 10 per 100,000 people, or a state with a 10% or higher positivity rate over a 7-day rolling average. I would also like to congratulate our high school and middle school David Burley graduates. I know your graduation may not have been as you have always envisioned. You all worked very hard under unusual circumstances and did an amazing job. I wish you great success and all the best as you continue to pursue your dream. Please stay safe and well, everyone. Thank you. Finance report, Councilman Lopez.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Finance Chairman report as of June 24, 2020. Estimated tax bills for the third quarter are scheduled to be mailed out next week with a due date for August 1st. There is a grace period to August 10th. Payments must be received by the end of business day, August 10th. Otherwise, interest will be incurred back to the 1st. When calculating your annual tax bill amount, do not take the third quarter payment and multiply it by 4. This will overstate your annual amount. So when the state passes their budget and tax rates are certified, we will be able to send annual bills. The annual tax bill will indicate your actual 2020 property tax amount. Payments can be made in person starting July 6th, and they will be accepting cash at this time. Also, you can make payment credit card or send a check in, how would you like. Borough departments have been notified about the 2020 operating budget and can proceed accordingly. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. Short and sweet. On Monday, myself, Councilman Schuelke, and Laura and Joe, the superintendent of the DPW, conducted a couple of interviews for a position that is open since we had a retirement effective July 1st. So we had the meetings, and after the meetings, we did hire a new person who will be added on tonight. He will start on July 6th. So, and that's pretty much it. DPW's out there trimming trees, cutting the grass, and doing whatever else they need to do. That's it.
All right, great job. Thank you. Department of Public Safety, Councilman Clementi.
Thank you, Mayor. I got quite a few things to go over. I'll just highlight them here, and then at the regular meeting, I'll get into them a little bit more. But the Kenilworth Police Department would like to remind all the residents to just remain alert, because there's an increase of reports of unknown individuals burglarizing vehicles and stealing vehicles as well within the borough. So just make sure you lock your car doors and remove any valuables, and don't leave your key fob in the vehicle. So on 6/14, we had a stolen motor vehicle from Tulip Court, recovered in Newark 3 days later. And a couple incidents on 6/24, another stolen vehicle on Clinton Avenue. And at the same time, Officer Torres, who reported to that one, also got flagged down by a resident that his vehicle was burglarized overnight, and 2 cell phones were taken, valued over $1,000. So, and then also on the 24th, Acme Supermarket, there was a report of shoplifting. And again, Patrolman Torrey found Alfred Lovett of Brooklyn in possession of stolen goods and was placed under arrest. So just be more diligent, of course, with your vehicle, and keep them locked, because there's a ring out there that's going through everything. And the other thing is just that everyone might or may not know, but ground-based sparkling devices and novelties are now legal in New Jersey. So anything that's on the ground, sparklers, novelty things, smoke devices, they are all legal, and then you've probably seen them for sale in supermarkets and Walmart and stuff like that. Anything that is aerial, though, like bottle rockets, skyrockets, firecrackers, Roman candles, those are not legal, and will be prosecuted if found. So those are the things that they can and cannot use. And just the last thing is, a couple weeks ago, there was an unfortunate situation where a pet dog was left in a car mistakenly and passed away from the heat. So just a little thing, don't leave your pets in the car, because even with the windows cracked, it still gets way too hot in there. I just got a couple of things here, statistics or temperatures. If it's 75 outside, inside the car, it feels like 90. If it's 77, it feels like 103. If it's 81, it feels like 112. 90 degrees feels like 119. So you get the idea. It's just make sure you don't leave your animals in your car. Always check your car out. And that's all I have for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilman Clementi. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Shelkey.
Thank you, Mayor. Planning, Construction, and Zoning for June 24th, 2020. We received a couple of complaints regarding a mural painted on a local business. The zoning officer reviewed the mural, and then we also reviewed our laws, and we find the mural to be in violation. As long as we all agree tonight, a violation and remedy suggestions will be sent to the building owner. Those remedy suggestions are two things. One, they
Rob, you kind of went out. Can you back up just a little bit?
oh, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
We got
So
to the violation.
anyway,
Okay,
as
yeah.
long as we all in agreement tonight, we'd like to send a violation notice to the owner. It's just a violation notice. It's not a fine. And it'll give them two remedy suggestions. One is to, reduce the size of the sign to be in compliance, or two, to apply to the planning board for a variance to have the whole mural painted on the back of this thing like that. So before I go on, is anybody in objection to sending a notice of violation to this building owner who put a mural on the whole back of his building?
I do not agree with this. It wasn't the building owner that did it. It's the guy that owns the business or that rents the building. And he put a mural up, and I think it's kind of inspirational. And I think because 2 people or 3 people complained about it, I don't see an issue with it. It's nothing that's derogatory. Nobody can really see it. And I don't think anything should be done about it. That's my own personal opinion.
Do we know if the building owner is aware of it?
I don't know.
Well, the building owner or business owner, my thoughts on it is I don't find it offensive, but if one person can paint their building that's not in compliance, then what about the next person doing it, and then the next person doing it? That's my only thing. But I'll tell you what, since there's a little bit of chat maybe we should have about this, let me have our zoning officer meet with our whole committee, not just myself, but Councilman David and Councilman Clementi, and we'll get back to this at our next meeting.
Sounds good.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to amend my report a little bit. I'll just say that we received a complaint and we're looking into it. Second point I have is our construction department is severely backed up. A significant amount of applications and the hardship created by the coronavirus has led to this backup. Everyone is working hard to get the department back on track. I thoroughly understand the frustration that these delays cause for our residents, but we just don't have the staff, and we can't afford to bring in a lot more staff to get caught up. But with everybody chipping in, we feel the department should be back to normal workflows within a few weeks. The planning board had its first telecommute Zoom meeting the other week We were able to conduct a full meeting and plan to continue this practice until we can meet in person again. And then I just wanted to take a moment, as the mayor mentioned, and congratulate all the students who graduated this year. It's certainly a strange time, but all of your accomplishments have not gone unnoticed, and congratulations to all. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Shelkey. Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Cesari.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. Our committee for the Recreation Department, we met by Zoom last week, and we discussed the parks being used for karate, Zumba, yoga. We need a resolution to vote on that. I did send a text to everybody, and everybody was kind of all in agreement as far as the text goes. But as far as, it goes, we do need a resolution for that. Accident insurance was added to the policy for the traveling softball team for practice only, does not include liability. 16th Street Park is now open for practice. It looks nice over there. They did rope off the playground area where the slides are and the swings and everything, because that's still not in use yet. Let me see if I have anything else. Okay, outdoor gatherings as of now can be up to 100 people. That went in on June 15th. That started. So as far as the rec goes, there's not going to be any summer camp, but they will have summer activities. The ones that meet protocol, and they'll be doing crafts and whatnot in DeMario. Let's see. However, there will be no restrooms available. We are not opening the restrooms for crafts, activities, whatnot, whatever. Whoever will be using the park, such as yoga or the Zumba, they'll have to, conduct their classes as is. They want to do a scavenger hunt, but we do need the rules in place for that, and we haven't decided yet when it's going to be. It may be in the fall, it may be, we don't know yet, so we're working on that. The movies in the park, we're going to need a permit for that, I think. I don't know. They want to spread it out over all 3 parks if possible, DeMario, 16th, and I don't know if it would be the school or if it would be is it 9th Street Park? Is that the park over there? The little one? 9th Street? Somebody help me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9th Street.
I don't know if I was calling it the right name. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So I don't think that park is big enough for movies, but they do want to try to get, movies going within the park. As I said last time, there's going to be no Boo on the Boulevard. And that's pretty much it, what I have for recreation. Fire. Give me a second. I received the report from Chief Kruger for the month of May. And I'm sorry, I'm just 24. There were 24 calls by the fire department. And the rescue squad, I'm sorry, there's X's here, so I didn't even realize there were X's here. She didn't put, the calls for the month are X, X, and X. You know what? She didn't even put the stuff in and emailed it to me. I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers for the report. I'm going to have to get back to Carol. All I know is the fire department did 24 calls, and that's all I have for the fire department. Plus, we are still waiting to hear about the carnival. They were going to have a meeting about that, and they'll go forward from there, see what happens. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cesari. Health, Education, and Welfare, Councilman Ladati.
Jerry, you're muted.
How's that?
There you go.
Congratulate the students at Harding, 6th grade move-up ceremony. It went well. They did a great job on producing it. Mrs. Murphy, the principal, was great. The students all spoke very well, so I was happy with that. The middle school graduation, the 8th grade going into 9th, went well. And it was all on the Kenilworth school site, KenilworthSchools.com. And it was a great ceremony. Dan, I saw your son in the elementary part. The high school, I thought, was an extreme success. And I think we have to congratulate teachers, the superintendent, the business administrator, for giving the time that they did with these students over the last 3 months. What I liked about it was Cory Booker gave a speech at the high school, a virtual speech, of course. And it was very inspiring for our kids. So I was happy with that. And again, kudos to the staff at all Kenilworth schools for putting that on. And again, I think July 23rd will be another graduation, a real one, where they get the diplomas and everything's handed to them. Next is the health department. The health fair is going to be September 26th. And the only thing that we're going to provide for is the flu vaccine and for blood work. The problem we're having with the flu vaccination is purchasing it. There's 3 different levels. There's 18 to 45 as one price, and they only have one set of vaccines for that. It was 65 and older. They have another set of vaccines for it at $50, which is very, very expensive. And the last one is your normal 18 to 49. That's the one we're trying to get. It's like $19 a shot. We're going to try to do it at St. Teresa's. We're going to have a drive-through vaccination and drive-through blood work going into school for the blood work, of course. So that's what I have for the health department. I have no word yet on the rabies clinic. And the problem there is other towns book certain dates, ahead of time. So for us to cancel ours and move forward, they're trying to work on that. Again, Marconi doing a great job, and Michael Balka doing an excellent job, and I'm glad he's on with us. Again, like I said, Cory Booker at the high school was really a good inspiration, and library should be opening pretty soon. That's what we're hearing from the governor. At least that's rumored right now. So I can answer all those questions about when the library is going to open and the drive-through and what's the town doing. People were interested if we're not doing anything or if we're not doing enough. So I emailed them back and let them know what we did and how much we have going on. Senior citizens, I have no information on that. So as soon as I do, I'll let you know. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know, Jerry, I'm not sure if you were aware, just 2 things. I understand the virtual graduation was a new thing. There was a student that was left out of the middle school graduation, and her parents were really upset about it.
I didn't hear anything on.
Yeah,
I wish I did.
Superintendent and the guidance counselor did go to her house the next day, but and also when they sent out, I can only speak for the middle school. The email was sent out on Monday afternoon, letting people know the time and the information. And there were just a lot of people really upset about not being able to plan, having no clue when it was going to be. And I just felt that perhaps they could have sent that out the week before, as opposed to just a few hours before the actual ceremony.
Yeah, I think we actually send an email to the Board of Education and let them.
Yeah, just it was people having to check their email all day to find out what time the ceremony was going to be, and it was
Yeah, I didn't have any information. I got on and I saw the graduations. I thought they were nice.
Yeah, it was very
but
nice.
If you want to send me that student's email information, I'll send a little note myself via email.
I can let you know that. I know who the parents are. So
all right, I can do that from the liaison side.
yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Jerry.
All right, thank you for the information.
Councilman Dottie. Thank you. Okay, Borough Engineer, Tony Gallerano.
Okay, so you're on mute. Okay, I don't know why you're not seeing.
Yeah, seem to be having trouble with the video. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Yes, hi.
Okay, I don't see my, see the Zoom on the screen here, but anyway, I just have a couple of items. The, first is the, I know there was some resident concerns about the footpaths over, in the area Commonwealth that kind of run between the streets there. So I did take a look at them and they are kind of beat up. So we had contacted Hearth Paving to take a look at it. DPW actually beat me to it. They had already shown them the areas and they're going to prepare some cost estimates for us just to get an idea of what it would take to do the repair.
lost voice.
We lost
I lost Tony.
Tony.
Natalie, can you go tell them he's.
May be done already. We don't know it.
Now try it. Yeah, talk.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, sorry about that. All right. Did you hear anything I said or no? It was completely
You
muted.
left off at Hearth, Tone.
What's that?
You left off at Hearth.
For Brian Herb.
Oh, Hearth. Okay, so, yeah, so Brian Hearth is going to prepare some cost estimates for those footpaths over, again, in the Commonwealth area that are kind of beat up, just to address some of the concerns. So we'll just get an idea of what that would cost. Secondly, the bids for South 18th Street drainage improvements are due tomorrow. So we'll see where those bids come in. We did get a lot of interest in that. I think about 30 people requested bid documents. So there's definitely a lot of interest in the project. And then lastly, there's been an ongoing issue with 683 Bloomingdale. That's actually right at the corner of Trenton and Bloomingdale. When you come off of Michigan Avenue, get to the corner, it's that corner house on the left. There's a ditch that runs alongside that property. It starts over on the alongside the Parkway. It comes across Michigan Avenue, runs along those properties, goes under Bloomingdale and continues. So back in 2015, that resident had complained that the ditch was getting silted, wasn't being maintained, and it was causing flooding problems on their property. Back in 2015, we looked at it. There was a couple of issues. Number one, we always considered that to be a regulated ditch by DEP. And back at that time, the DEP regulations were pretty stringent on what you can do and not do in a ditch. There was also a question of actually who owned the ditch. The residents' survey showed an easement. It said easement to state of New Jersey, and we kind of always assumed that it was DOT because we assumed that that was built when the Parkway was built, and Parkway was originally controlled by DOT. But we had contacted DOT at the time. They said they didn't have ownership. We contacted the Parkway Authority. They said they didn't have ownership. Just trying to figure it out. Nothing ever really came of it. So I know the owner there has been contacted the borough recently. So we met her out there today just to see what was going on. And we looked at the ditch. You know, obviously it is silted. We did explain that, you know, what we had trying to figure out as far as ownership and regulation. Interestingly, she has a couple of emails. She had an email from DEP stating that the ditch wasn't under their jurisdiction, which would be surprised, but it's not an official determination, but it was an email from 2015 or 16. And she has some emails from DOT stating that they would come out and look at the ditch, which they did. And they did clean the ditch out in 2015, I believe. But they said that they didn't have ownership and it was the borough's responsibility. So one thing that's changed in the last couple of years, about 2 years ago, DEP did change the rules, which made it a little bit easier to do the work if needed. So I think before we go any further, I think to try to bring this to some resolution, I think we first need to figure out the jurisdictional issue, whether DEP regulates the ditch or doesn't. It's very simple to do. I mean, it's basically, we could request an official determination from DEP. There's no fee. It's a very simple procedure. And this way we know for sure whether it's regulated or not regulated. And I think we should figure out the ownership issue. I mean, it's pretty obvious DOT probably built the ditch probably back in the 1950s when the parkway was built. The question is, did they ever turn it over to the borough? They're claiming that it was turned over to the borough, but we never found any evidence in our search that there was any documentation that the borough took that over. But I think that we try to verify that and just figure out who actually has the ownership. And again, that's easy to do. There's really no cost to that. And we can request from DOT any construction drawings they have that might show what that ditch looked like back when it was originally constructed. And I think, that might be a first step to sort this out and figure out who has jurisdiction and who has ownership. So.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Borough CFO, Mr. Diorio.
Yes, Mayor and Council, just to briefly report that for the month of June, we have not received any revenues from our hotel tax. And it's been confirmed by the state that we won't receive anything for this month. We're very eager to get the courts back up and running because those revenues have also been off. Other than that, I have no further report.
Thank you. Borough Attorney, Mr. Capis.
Mayor and Council. Unfortunately, I have a few things, but I'll go through them as quickly as I can for you. Mayor, you've gotten my letters, as has the council, regarding the Roarway Valley Sewage Authority.
Yeah.
What I was going to again request of the governing body, I think we need to take Roarway Valley up on their invitation. My suggestion, and certainly this governing body can do what they want. I thought a 3-member committee, one elected official, our engineer, and Bob Biner, our RVS guy, should meet with them. I try to be as candid as I can. I think we have about a 30% chance of them saying, yeah, you're absolutely right. And the issue is, I think it's pretty clear that there were defective meters. And the reason that continues to be important, because of the averaging they do, these defective meters continue to impact and will impact again next year on your numbers, and your numbers will go up. I'm not sure. I deal with our Roarway Valley representative, and he's so good. And I'm very fond of Bob Biner, but I really think that you need to confront them. And I think you'll be pleased, they did not involve their attorney, who can be litigious. So that means I don't have to get involved. But I'm just suggesting to you respectfully, Mayor, that we need to take them up on it. We need to have, I guess, I don't know, a face-to-face as soon as we're allowed to do that. You've received the letters. I know the engineer has done an analysis, has received it. I know Bob Biner has given you an analysis. But I would respectfully ask, Mayor, that in the foreseeable future, we take them up on their offer and we meet with them. It's fairly large dollars, and I just think we can't let that go. Secondly, Mayor, on the affordable housing issue, and Mike Machada and O'Brien, we've all conferred very simply with the action of the planning board, which was totally correct. It's now, the ball is now in the court of the developer to set up what's called an escrow account. And that money pays for the borough officials, not Frank, the borough officials who review their documents for them. That's very important. And the one thing that we are going to do, I've asked O'Brien, he's going to keep a paper path. I want to have a whole detail of every time we meet with them. Because if push comes to shove in the fall or in the future, I want to make sure to show that we have a legitimate record. I think you recall I'd sent you a number of articles of other boroughs and towns having battles. And one of the constant weaknesses of the municipalities is not having a clear path indicating to the courts what they did. And I don't want to make that mistake. Now, Mr. O'Brien, to his credit, and I really like this, and I mentioned this to Councilman Shelkey, he's targeting his numbers to the same process he used in Clark. So he's got a process that works. And I would just predict to you that come the fall and come the snow, we'll be really glad that he did that. Mayor, I've given the police committee, and they've approved a potential settlement with the carrier covering our load, the majority of our load regarding some litigation. I'll have something for you for the next meeting on that. Without in the vernacular, we really wanted to stop the bleeding because with the court mandating separate counsels for the chief and for the borough, it was getting to be so expensive. And as you know, when you have a car accident, the insurance carrier may not charge you, but lo and behold, when your car insurance comes due next year, your numbers go high. On the tavern issue, it appears that Galveston has represented to the court that they will not be reopening. How that issue has come about because of the demand of the court in the hearing that went to Trenton, not the one that we postponed here. There is a need for a transcript of the OAL case in Newark where a number of people attended. It's tradition and it's the rule of the court. Each side pays 50%. They have balked it. They being Galveston has balked at it. We'll see what's going to happen. But I think if I had to predict, I think it looks to me like we may not be seeing Galveston open again. I did indicate to them that they're indicating their interest in some kind of zoning approvals. And I told them, unlike Henry Kissinger, I can't link things. And I have no control, nor does this governing body have any control over what the zoning board may or may not do. And the reason I was pedantic on that, I wanted to make sure that the court understood that if they leave, but it cannot be leveraged or linked to what another autonomous board would do. On our DPW contract, Mark gets more phone calls from us than he really wants. But we're pretty close. Laura and I met this afternoon, and we'll be putting a final offer on the table with the union, with the DPW. Famous last words, I think we're somewhere between third base and home plate. And I'm fairly confident that you will have a DPW contract going forward. As I've indicated, I was just coming out the door when I heard the governor's new executive order is going to permit libraries to open. I will make sure that we get a copy of that executive order tomorrow so that we can plan what we want to do. And finally, I want to leave you with this, Mayor. I was on a Zoom with the court today, and I told them that I'm reading Truman's book about World War II. And he interviewed the people at Los Alamos who were making the atomic bomb. And the one woman said, Mr. President, my work is so confidential, I don't even know what I do. So I just leave you with that as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cavese. Borough Clerk.
Good evening. I did receive a call from Governmental Affairs at PSE&G, and they wanted to know how the council would feel about the purchase of an adjacent piece of property next to the substation over near Acme. Right now, it's a small area that they use for storage and I guess for staging. And I think they have the opportunity to purchase another parcel right next to that. But before they exhibited any interest, they wanted to make sure they weren't going to receive any opposition from the borough. What they're looking at is potentially doubling the footprint over there. So I told him that I would reach out to the governing body and get back to him on that. Also, we do have some of the restaurants have been asking if they could take up parking spots, or if there's going to be parking lot closures, so they could expand into those areas. And at this point in time, I did let them know that we haven't made any decisions as far as street closures or parking space accommodations for them. So if that's something that the governing body would like to entertain, that would be, we would have to do official action on that in the form of a resolution, probably for the next meeting, July 8th. So that's just another thing for consideration. And then the last thing I have is the primary election is going to be July 7th, and it's vote by mail. So they're encouraging everybody to vote by mail. There is some talk of people that they want to insist upon going to the polls, and that's all well and good. You can do that. However, you have to be advised that you will still be voting provisionally. You're still going to vote on paper. You cannot vote with the machine. And as far as the residents who would like to just vote by mail and do drop-offs, if they don't want to put it out in the mailbox, the county has arranged for 5 different drop locations. There will be a drop box in Cranford at the community center on Walnut Ave. There will be one in Elizabeth at the county administration building, 10 Elizabethtown Plaza. There will be one at Plainfield Municipal Building. There will be one at the Union Township Municipal Building at the rear entrance, and in Westfield, there will be one at the Fraser Building. And that's all I have.
Thank you. What parking lots would we consider allowing restaurants to utilize? We only have the Barrow parking lot, right?
We have the municipal lot in the back behind the senior building.
Okay.
The thing was, when the council had originally discussed this, one of the drawbacks was parking is already very difficult in the borough.
Right.
So now you're making it difficult for the residents as well as people that would patronize the restaurant. So where would they go?
Is there a possibility we could allow the restaurants that don't have a large sidewalks, that don't enjoy that, perhaps restaurants on the side streets, could to possibly move some tables into that area in some vacant? I know we have a couple, like perhaps the market area, allowing maybe some restaurants on the side streets to utilize that space.
If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that when the construction official has been going out there, he's been letting them know if they want to make special arrangements with the property owner, they're more than welcome to do so.
That would be our sidewalks, right? That would be the borough, right?
It is the borough sidewalk, but it's the responsibility of the property owner to maintain them. So if, say, in front of the grocery store, they wanted to utilize that, they would have to speak to the property owner. If he permits it, then that's between them.
Okay, so we've been letting them know that then. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Hey,
Okay.
as far as my thoughts go, the Acme lot with the PS, right? Was it PS that wants that? That's not a big space over there that they have already, and all that would do is really, help us, because they're going to have more of a stage area when they do work around here for us. So I would be in favor of that. The streets, closing streets in Kenilworth, I've thought about this a lot, and I want to do everything we can for our businesses, but closing down a street just doesn't make sense to me. The traffic would just be too much. And I know it would be a huge inconvenience to give up a couple parking spots in any lot, but I would like to, if somebody requests, I would like to seriously consider giving them a few spots. And again, this is on a limited basis. It's going to be 3 or 4 weeks until indoor dining starts. They can already start in a week or two with 25%, I think, capacity. But I would be in favor of giving up a few spots. I would not be in favor of closing the streets.
I agree.
Can I say something on that? As far as doing it in parking lots, I would say leave the parking lots for the cars to park. I don't know what the protocol would be, but maybe you could bring it out to the street like we did on pumpkin carving the first time we did it in front of the library. Maybe and if the businesses can put cones up and New York has done it. I've seen it. They've taken the parking spots from the street so that they could socially space everybody 6 feet apart at least. But I mean, I don't know how that would work here as far as I know parking is limited, but instead of closing a street, you might want to think of just maybe doing it on the boulevard and having the boulevard like close to parking where they park, on the angle, and maybe come out with a cone or whatever, a couple tables out that way. You might want to think about that.
Laura, can we even do that with the boulevard? I mean, I know we probably got special permission for the Halloween thing, but are we allowed to do that, or is that just a county road and we have no
No,
authority?
the angle parking
We
is
did hear
Kenilworth.
from the county. It is a county roadway, so they have full control over that.
Yeah.
However, and I would have to confirm it and get something in writing from them, but we were told that to help the businesses, it would be at the borough's discretion if they so chose to support closing the parking spots off.
I'm pretty sure you can cut off all the parking spot. That's Kenilworth. That's part of Kenilworth. That's not the county road because they don't plow it. They don't take care of it. Kenilworth has to. So you can cone off all that parking in front of the stores, the angle parking, and let people put tables out there in front of their restaurants if you wanted to do that. The only other parking lot you got is 21st Street, and that only benefits one restaurant. So you're going to give them the whole parking lot for the one restaurant. And then
Well,
half the cars there won't even move anyway because people park all their stuff there and leave it there and never move it.
No, I'm saying trying to keep them out of the parking lots from having them put their tables out in the parking lots
I
instead.
mean,
I think that would be a better move. Actually, it would look good too for people traveling through town too.
Realistically, you could close off 20th and the Boulevard where you have the Indian restaurant, the Portuguese restaurant. You got 3 guys. You could cone that off and cone it off just before the last exit in the parking lot. And you could give everybody tables out there. And that way people can go down different streets to go wherever, and they can cut through the parking lot to go.
Listen,
So that's another way of
they
doing
can walk, park and walk, but I'm looking out, more for the businesses to be able to space themselves out and, give them enough space. So plus I think when cars come through, if they see it's busy and it's happening, I think that's a positive thing. So,
it's a positive thing because Cranford's doing it. Cranford's got a bunch of roads blocked off, the whole streets.
the whole
So that
street.
people- from Thursday
street.
to Sunday. From Thursday to Sunday night, they got streets blocked off where people
Just
can
one
eat out in the
street
street.
blocked off, and it's not the whole street. It's just
Well,
all.
it's a quarter of it. Yeah, it's a
Part
quarter
of
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, from Boulevard,
That's a good
20th and the
idea.
Boulevard, halfway down, you could block it off.
If we
Yeah.
use the parking spaces along the boulevard, we could accommodate
All the restaurants on the Boulevard.
restaurants.
So that's
Mhm,
the only way
yeah.
to do it.
If we got, the park, if we were able to utilize the parking spaces.
You can, I'm telling you, you can utilize the angle parking to our benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
would
smart.
definitely agree with Councilman David. That angle parking for years, that's our property.
It's our property. It's always been. It has nothing to do with it's not the county roadway.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you stay in the spots and not on the road, I think we'd be fine.
As Councilman Shilkey said, it's going to be temporary anyway. It's not going to be
Right.
that
Yeah, so
long.
by the time we do it, it won't even be worth it probably.
Well,
And Laura,
Well, I
If
think
they're allowed to
we
open
can
up next
be
week,
on
there's
it.
no sense to it.
everybody's been open though. They're already open. They
Yeah, but
just
if you-
need the space. They want streets closed, and I don't
What do we
see,
need to do tonight to allow this to happen? Or is that not possible?
I think we could just come to an agreement right now, make an agreement that we're gonna close off the angle parking. What you make the time and the days and tell the restaurants they can put tables out there.
Thursday through Sunday, right?
That
Thursday,
sounds good to me.
Saturday, Sunday?
Sounds good to me.
I'm not saying all the angle parking. I'm just saying where it benefits for the restaurants. you know,
Well-
so they can come out more.
The only angle parking, you wouldn't, well, you'd have to close the angle parking from 19th to 20th, 20th to 21st,
Right.
because you got all restaurants along the front. And
Right.
then you got the Greek place at 23rd and the Boulevard. You can't leave
open-
2 or 3 spaces. You got to block everything off. You can't have people.
Right, right.
Everything has to be
Block
closed.
all that off and it just,
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah, you
From
got open
20,
grill
from
by
20,
that.
from in front of the diner, you got to do it. So you basically got to do it from the diner all the way down to 19th Street.
Well, the
block off all
diner
the
has
stuff.
got taken over their parking lot, and I
Yeah,
think
that's
they
true.
like that.
don't
They
use
have
it.
their patrons are parking on the boulevard up there. They
Boulevard-
have space. So I don't think
Boulevard
we have to
five.
do it in front of the diner.
24th
think from-
down to
We can
18th.
end it at 24th, right?
Not even, because Boulevard 572 has their own parking lot.
We're only,
They gotta-
we are ending it before that. We would end it
Right.
on 23rd.
They're 20, yeah, 23rd down to 19th
By the
Street.
street, 23rd.
23rd down to 19th Street, you block it off.
Yep,
I think that's a good idea.
I do too.
So I vote yes.
I
What
vote-
days,
I
no,
vote-
what days and what times? are we
Gotta
talking?
I make a motion, we close off the angle parking from 19th Street to the 23rd, North 23rd Street, Thursday through Sunday. Start at like 4 o'clock till, I don't know, 11 o'clock.
I
like-
would, I would say let's start it at 2 o'clock. That way, if there's a car that's parked and somebody's not around, they can hopefully, what, am I muted? No, okay. Then they can hopefully get the car. So I would say like 2 o'clock Thursday to 11 p.m. Sunday night.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think it's a great idea.
And
Sounds
we
good
don't
to me.
have to close it down. It's only if a restaurant would like to utilize that space. So at least now we have an option for them.
Yeah.
Laura, there's another important issue with the outside eating, and that's from the health department. There's 4 pages of protocol about table separation, about people separation, chair separation, that needs to be posted at each eatery outside. And that's what's recommended by the governor. And I don't know if we did that yet. But the problem is, I want to see it enforced. And then, we have enough police to enforce those problems. If they're all crowded together, that's why I like the street idea. You could open it up. But other than that, we have to enforce, this separation by the governor's rules. And he's got 4 pages. If anybody wants a copy of it, I can email it to you.
No, it's.
I would like to, before we do that, just make sure, because right now your motion is very vague. And we don't have the authority just yet. I want to make sure we're compliant with public safety rules, Board of Health rules, as well as the county. The county, I don't believe is going to be an issue. If you wanted to do something based on maybe a trial basis, we could probably do something along those lines, contingent upon compliance with county approvals, Board of Health regulations, as well as public safety
What
requirements.
do we do with the owners that have non-food establishments?
They
mean,
can come out onto
do we
the
take their
boulevard. They're allowed
spaces
to have
away?
people in their business now.
Yeah, but
Non-food.
take their
they're allowed.
parking space away.
Well, we are taking them away, but only from Thursday through,
Sunday.
yeah, well, he
Yeah.
is making a point. There will be some businesses that are there'll be some pushback from
You know what?
on food.
And
But
made my thought too bad. I mean, sorry, but we all got to get along. And, everybody's been working together, and this is going to be like 8 to 12 spots. I mean, yeah, it's going to be inconvenient, but it's not going to be the end of the world.
and it's not the whole week as well. It's not.
And look, you could drive around and find places to park.
Right.
That's not a
And
problem.
lots will
There's
still be
always
open.
Side streets to park on. I'm looking out more for the businesses to make sure that, they're able to space it out. That
Yep.
they're
That's the
able
big
to,
thing.
do a good business and
Yep.
drive up the business. And the boulevard's the best place to see when people come through. and look by car, you see people dining outside and it's that crowded.
People are going to pay attention that it's 6 feet. People are paying attention to that.
Yeah, they are.
Because I work with the
6
public.
feet in mask.
Restaurants that are not complying with the 6 feet tables, people don't want to go. So if we have space and they see our restaurants are complying, following the rules, they're going to feel comfortable to go.
Right. That's why the protocols are so important. And I think the street parking, no parking, is a great idea for that. You're not squeezing the establishments. Not turning people away.
I'm sure it'll be welcome to a lot of the restaurants that have been struggling.
Do we have
Or
to-
how
do
long
we
would
have
it
to
take
vote on
to
it?
find out when we can, possibly do this? What do you think?
Well, if I understood Councilman David, his motion was to authorize the borough clerk or whoever need be to close the angle parking on the boulevard between 19th and 23rd Street, Thursday at 2 p.m. to Sunday at 11 p.m., subject to our borough clerk clearing that with the county, that all suggested health codes are followed, and that the public safety signs off on it. Would that be correct, Councilman David?
Yeah, a few things were added to it, but yeah, that's basically it.
Then I'd like to second that.
Just a moment.
No, don't get it. I'm just gonna make a quick point. Rob, it's Frank. That certainly was in your purview to do it. I strongly urge you to put in there on a trial basis. I don't know what's gonna happen, but look, I agree with the mayor. It's something you gotta do, but I would ask you to please include the term trial basis so that if we have a problem, we have the authority to stop it, or, again, I don't know. What the
Well,
resolution-
you always got to leave that clause in there that we can end it whenever we want.
Well, but I don't want- no, we don't have a council meeting now for quite a while. And what
Yeah.
I'm just saying is, if this works, well, God bless you. If there's a problem, you may want to stop it right away and not wait for another meeting of the governing body. That's my only.
Okay.
So my second would then include the on a trial basis phrase.
Okay, so this resolution, this motion. Okay. So we're 2 to 11, Thursday through
Sunday,
from 19th to 23rd.
North 19th to North 23rd Street, correct, the angle parking.
But it's 2 p.m. Thursday to 11 p.m. Sunday. It's not like daily, like Thursday, 11 a.m. We don't shut it down. We leave it closed from 2 p.m. Thursday to 11 p.m. Sunday.
Okay, Chief, do you have any input?
I like the trial basis though, because I just think some people, it's gonna affect some.
They can't hear you. You wanna?
I was just saying, I like the trial basis versus, just to make sure in case it does raise concerns with some of the businesses with parking. I know just from walking the center with Massimo's and different insurance companies on the boulevard, parking is always at a premium there, especially right now, we don't have the senior meeting, so it's not as bad, but it does become an issue a lot of times on weekdays. On weekends, I don't think it's as bad because they're not open. But Massimo's is and the Greek store are, but that's past it. We're not going to go that far, but
It
on a
does.
trial basis, if it doesn't work out, we can stop and reevaluate at that point.
Does it just say angle parking or no parking? Did you have the word
On
angle
North
parking in it?
19th to 23rd, it's all the angle parking.
Yeah.
What about no parking? Instead of not, don't include angle, because then people pull up the regular way and park parallel.
Yeah, it would just have to be blocked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's blocked off, that's fine, but if not, just put no parking.
Can I just ask who would be responsible to be putting up the should I call them blockades or however you're going to block it off? Who would be responsible? Would that be DPW? Would that be the owner's responsibility? Would that be because it's going to go for a couple blocks, right? So whose responsibility would that be?
We'll have the DPW put them out and we'll just check them and if we have to put signage.
And we're talking just horses and
Yeah,
cones.
they could drop a cone.
Yeah, that would work.
And if we have to put no parking.
Okay, the police chief is telling me that, and the DPW superintendent agreed that the DPW would put out horses and cones to block off those areas.
At 3 o'clock on a Thursday, or what, 4 o'clock? What did you say?
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock?
2.
2 o'clock
2 o'clock.
Thursday?
2 to 11.
Because it would only be really one side of the boulevard anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's no restaurants really on the other side except for the one by the garden center.
Well, there's the
And Sumeza.
Sumeza by the
That's up
Go
further,
Fast.
isn't it? That's up further.
You have Sumeza, you have the bakery, and you have the one over near Liberty Cafe, I think.
Yeah, well, it's,
They have a parking area though that they've been utilizing, which I think
They have
works for
parking lot
them.
open.
Sue Mesa, if we could do something for them, I'm not really sure what. I know they would like to have more space out there.
yeah, but you got the convenience store.
The bakery, I don't know, they don't have a lot of tables now. They could probably fit the tables they have outside the bakery. But the cafe is a little different.
Yeah, you got the nail salon there, you got the convenience store, so you'd be stopped.
There's like
Parking area.
trees and, right.
Point taken, but there's side street parking though. So, I mean,
Well, yeah, no, I mean, they would like more space for tables.
Yeah, but with that, there's no angle parking on that side of the boulevard.
No, there
anyway,
isn't.
so there's nothing
No.
for us to close down.
so,
There isn't.
that's what I'm saying. It probably can't be traffic wise. That wouldn't be.
No, but I'm just saying perhaps we could all brainstorm and come up with something that might be able to work to help them out.
So you're talking about the bakery and that other little store there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, the bakery has no seating inside, so realistically.
And they do have
Yeah.
seating inside, Mark.
They
Yeah,
do?
Yeah, they
They
do.
got
About
tables in there?
5 tables, yeah.
Oh,
They serve
all right, but
tea and
what you gotta realize is they also have the area between the sidewalk and the curb over there, which is plenty big enough to put a couple tables also.
For the amount of tables they have, I agree.
Yeah, so they don't need to go out in the street. They got room there. That little cafe has room. They can go in front of the nail salon. You're not gonna put tables out in front of the nail salon so they can do nails outside. It ain't happening.
We're not asking for that, Mark.
Just for
We're
restaurants.
trying to come up with a solution for Sue Mesa. The bakery can put they have enough space, I believe, to put their tables outside.
Yeah,
In
and
front
like I
of their
said,
store on the sidewalk.
right. And
The
it's-
cafe does not. They don't have enough space there.
Yeah, there's trees and stuff in the way.
There's
No,
trees,
really, it
there's
is even to walk by there.
flower plants, there's
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
Might have to
Rabbit-
move the
rabbit
flower
hole.
plants. Have to move the flowers.
Well, go take the bricks apart. Go ahead.
All right, I'm
Go for
done
it.
with this. Let's move on. I'm done. Either move on it or get rid of it. I'm done.
You got the resolution ready for later?
I'll see what I can put together during our 5-minute break.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Anybody
awesome,
can
Laura.
do it.
Thank you.
You're a miracle worker. So,
Hey, Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to circle back on something that was reported by Councilman Shoki in his report.
Uh-huh.
So, he mentioned, and I've heard it from you, Mayor, you've gotten a few emails and Rob's gotten some feedback about, Mr. O'Brien, our zoning officer, is backed up. I mean, because of all what's going on.
Mhm.
He's backed up on inspections. He's backed up on new files coming in. And, I think that maybe the way we could handle it and to service our residents is to extend his hours. Right now, he's 10 hours a week, and that's never enough time anyway. I'm sure he's putting in more than that, but maybe we could extend him to 20 hours a week, maybe for a month or 6 weeks, so he can get caught up again. Instead of hiring somebody temporarily, he knows what he's doing, and I just think he needs more time.
Right.
to
I
address
agree that he
everything.
needs more time.
Does he
And
want?
a lot of things are being pushed off perhaps longer than than would be ideal. Because he's here for a short time. I believe there were 50 plus pool applications, and he's really is being being overloaded with applications.
Yeah, he's stretched and, again, we got to make sure we take care of our residents, our taxpayers, and if they need some permits or some inspections, we're obligated to do that. So I think that might work. It's just a suggestion out there. I think we should do it so that he can move forward.
First of all, is he even interested in having his hours increased? Because realistically, I thought when we first made him zoning, he was going to be here till July, and he was here to upgrade all the ordinances or whatever we had going on, and then we were going to look to hire somebody else. So it's already July. He's basically office bound. Nothing's being looked at out on the street unless someone finds it and forwards it to him. So there's a lot of stuff being missed, where we used to have a guy that rode around town and found a lot of stuff that nobody liked, but at least he was enforcing things. So
I think
I don't know about giving him more.
time
Maybe
to enforce things.
maybe we need to hire another part-time guy to be outside and do things.
And I think then you're spending more money for sure.
Well, we're spending more money anyway. If you give him 20 more hours, we got to pay him more money anyway.
No,
About 10 more hours more.
10 more hours.
All right, so 10 more hours. Is he going to get out of the office and do something?
It's temporarily, Mark, so that he can catch up with his backlog. The virus has caused a lot of problems. You know that.
I
And that's
understand that.
been affected as well. So if he's not getting out as much, it's because he can't.
I'm not.
Let's not catch up.
I don't think part of his job is also to police the town as well.
So you don't think the zoning officer is supposed to drive around and maybe observe stuff?
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's acting on enough complaints as it is. I would imagine so.
They got the last guy fired.
Only got the last. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah, we shouldn't be talking about personnel matters.
Right.
Larry,
Anyway,
thanks,
that's my
Larry. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say, thanks for bringing that up. I'm in favor of it, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, actually, and we can get it done. So, as long as he's willing to do it, Mayor, I think that we should then offer it to him.
I agree with that.
And what's the timetable?
I don't know.
The rest of, is he hired for the rest of the year? Because when we originally brought him on, it was 6 months.
There was never a time frame, Mark.
I'm pretty sure there was. Yeah.
And he said possibly on his end, but if he wants to continue the job, then I'm all for it because he's doing a good job.
All right, well, do we know what he wants? Has anybody actually asked him what he wants before we do this?
I would say that we give him 10 hours a week through July 31st, and then we regroup at that point and look at it again.
Right.
Okay. As long as there's some type of restrictions and we know what's going on.
Yeah, we'll just get it through July 31st, and then that's it.
He can keep you updated, Rob, as to where he's at on a weekly basis, maybe.
Yeah, no, I get, I can't really hold this up and show it to you guys, but yeah, I get a weekly report and a tally of everything that's going on. So, for instance, the week of 5/27, we got 6 applications approved, 1 application denied, 4 were incomplete. But right there, that's 11 applications that we had to deal with. It takes about a half hour to 45 minutes.
Right.
So that's the whole week, and then we still had to do emails, complaints, have appointments. So he's busy. But I do get a weekly report, Larry, to answer your question as to everything that's going on, and I compared it to last year, and it's actually overwhelming this year compared to last year.
Yeah.
All right. So if we're giving him 10 extra hours, are we I know right now he only technically supposed to be there, Tuesday nights?
For the public, yeah.
Right.
He's been there two nights a week. I think he's been there Tuesday and Wednesdays now, Mark. He started doing 2 nights a week.
All right, so it's going to be,
so
basically he's going to be in the office 2 nights a week, 5 hours each night, or 10. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week?
20 hours.
20 hours a week. He's
So
got another 10 per week.
All right,
he can
so
make the
total of 20.
2 nights. He could do his rest of his job the other 10 hours or 12 hours, whatever it might be.
All right, I thought, does he, okay, I'm trying to figure out how that works, but I thought he has a regular job, don't he?
Well, the fortunate thing for us, and maybe not for him, but zoning has slowed down incredibly since the virus hit. So his regular job, where he's at 2 or 3 other towns, as the zoning officer, planning, a planner, has slowed down. So we might as well take advantage of it through July, and then, you know, like I said, I think we'll be out of the woods by then.
And
All right,
slow,
so then,
slow down Kenworth as well as his planning position. So
all right, so as far as the general public being able to come up to see him, what are we gonna do? Tuesdays and Wednesday nights from 5 to 9 o'clock, 5 to 8 o'clock, they can come and see him, or what are we doing? Gotta come up with something.
his hours are, he has hours for the public. It's been the same.
Well,
forever.
go ahead, I'm sorry, Larry. Yeah,
Technically, there was only one night for public.
well, what
Mike
we'd have to
Kelly
do, I don't have those hours in front of me. We'll have to put them out. Maybe we'll put them out on the website or put them out, at our
I mean,
next
if we're good-
meeting.
I think we can discuss hours with him.
Yeah.
What works with his schedule. I don't see the point in us hashing over what hours right now.
Right.
We just know I'm getting emails from residents that
They want to be able to see him.
no, that they're just waiting for,
Oh,
he hasn't had time to
And whatever.
deal with complaints.
so they're not complaining
so-
about coming up to see him.
No, they're complaining that the applications, they want the turnaround to be faster.
All right. I got you.
Okay.
Can I just ask, what is the usual turnaround? If there is, one?
Depends.
Well, there's a couple different types of applications. There's some that come in that have a statutory time limit on it.
right?
And those obviously get seen first because we're under the gun. If we don't respond, they're approved.
Yeah,
So
I get
those
that.
go first, and those actually take a little more time. And then there's all the other applications for things that you just need a permit. It's not planning board stuff. It's just stuff if you're putting on a little deck in the back of your house that doesn't need any special consideration. That's just a permit. If you're putting a pool in, that's a permit. But that's what we've been seeing a lot of lately.
Well, if it's just like permits and stuff coming in, why couldn't that just be like granted in the hours that he's working, and then everything, the other stuff that's of importance could be worked on? Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean,
No.
you don't.
I don't get it because first off, if he's here for 10 hours a week and he has 3 or 4 hours of meeting time with the public, he's really only in the office working on these applications for 6 hours. And then you get a phone call in between from a resident, and that takes a little bit of time. So all we're really trying to say here, and then again, I appreciate Larry bringing it up, is let's see if the guy will work another 10 hours for a month and just try and get us a little further caught up.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's, I'm in agreement with that. I'm just saying, the littler things that could be pushed through easily. Shouldn't they, I mean, and I understand that things with the government, they have to be done right away, but the things that are really, let's call it non-essential for, purposes of what we're going through. Couldn't somebody just like do that in like, I don't know, like a stretch of an hour, like get this stuff done in like an hour or two? I mean, as far as like permits are small. Permits are not a big thing.
Permit for a pool or permit for a deck or something, there's review that work that goes into it. You got to make sure the gates are proper for the pools. There's a lot of things that go into it. Even at a half hour an application, if he's got 6 hours left in a week, that's 12 things he could do. We just need to get him a little more time. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
No, I understand. I do. I'm just
Rob,
questioning,
Right, with the pool permits, there has to be an electrical inspection, so it's just.
Understood.
for a pool, so
Understood.
there's more involved.
It'd have to be
And I don't know,
the ground
backed up.
grading.
No, all right.
Listen, we know we're backed up. It's not even worth arguing about. We know that we're backed up. We know that he doesn't have enough time. It's just
let's just move
fact.
on. So I made a motion to extend his hours for 10
I'll
hours
second,
a week,
Larry.
if he's okay with that. just so that we can service our residents.
I'll second that for you, Larry.
All right,
I'm in
good.
agreement. I agree.
Wanna do
Okay.
a call, or just yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, when is this going to be
you got it,
effective?
Councilman.
We said we'd be
I
effective
Affect them immediately.
immediately.
through July 31st.
Yep.
Starting tomorrow till July 31st.
Okay. What I'd like to do, council, our next meeting is July 8th. What we could do during the council meeting is you could raise that motion again. And we could pass it that way. And what I'll do is for the meeting on July 8th, we will pass a resolution memorializing your motion and your decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So are we gonna be ready to open the street?
Okay.
Oh, if I could circle back for a moment, Chief Zimmerman actually had a very good idea in regards to the South Side restaurants. As far as Sumeza and Palermo's Bakery is concerned, right in front of both of those locations, we have the benches and some receptacles there that take up considerable amount of room considering how they're placed. If we have DPW remove them temporarily, that will allow more area for tables for those locations.
That's a great idea.
good idea.
Excellent.
Really
Thank
good
you,
idea.
Chief.
That'll stop a lot of watering.
Thank you.
As long as they're interested, let's not move them unless they really are interested.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Why'd you double the work?
Okay.
Okay. Is that all? I'd like to make a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Cesari, seconded by Councilman Clementi. Does anyone from the public have anything to add? Anyone, Laura? Oh,
I have no one here from the public, and nor did we receive any emails or phone calls in compliance with the COVID protocol.
okay, thank you. I'd like a motion to close the meeting for public discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ladati, seconded by Councilman Cesari. Does anyone else have anything else to add?
Just one thing, Mayor, farmer's market's gonna start taking place.
We're working
In
on that
July.
for July. Mhm.
Yep.
The
And,
church has some
yeah,
protocols they
that's
need
the
to put in place. Anyone else? Okay. If there's nothing else to be brought before the borough, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Clementi, seconded by Councilman Shelkey. At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute recess before we begin the council meeting. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
In a few.
Thank you, everyone.
30-second warning.
I am making this compliance. Muted.
Oh, Mayor.
Thank you. I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, Laws of the State of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk is prepared to schedule the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2020. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of this schedule on the bulletin board located at the front entrance of Borough Hall and has mailed true copies of this schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of this schedule in her office during the year 2020. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Publics Meeting Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To
to the flag
Flag,
The United
the
States.
United States of America, to the republic,
for which it stands one
One
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice.
for all.
for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cesari,
Here.
Councilman Clementi,
Here.
Councilman David,
Here.
Councilman Ladati,
Here,
Councilman Lopez,
Here.
and Councilman Shelkey.
Maybe a technical issue.
Here we go. And Councilman Shelkey.
Yes. Hello?
Okay, hello. Okay, currently there are 169,415 cases of COVID-19 in New Jersey, 16,304 cases in Union County, and 153 cases in Kenilworth. I hope everyone takes advantage of outdoor dining along the boulevard and patronize our restaurants and retail establishments in the borough. They need your support now more than ever. As we continue to open up, we are enjoying more freedoms such as shopping and getting a haircut. County picnic areas will be open and reservations can be made to use them with a maximum of 250 people. This number will increase to 500 on July 3rd. If the COVID-19 outbreak continues to trend down, parks will be opening on July 2nd. Graduations and other outdoor gatherings will be permitted after July 6th. Malls will be opening back up and life as we know it is resembling more normalcy. Dog parks, tennis courts, archery range, and golf courses have reopened with adjustments. Social distancing is still required and masks are strongly recommended. I would like to take a moment to recognize the anniversary of the Women's Service Integration Act, enacted June 12, 1948. A United States law that allowed women to become permanent regular members of our armed forces. I am grateful to all the women who have made tremendous advances in traditional male-dominated cultures. Please count yourself in the census. Currently, Kenilworth is counted at 74.2%. I am sure everyone has received their vote by mail ballot by now. I encourage everyone to please fill it out and mail it. If you opt to go to the polls on July 7th, you will still be voting using a paper ballot this election. Just a reminder, St. Teresa's Food Bank has new hours. They are open the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And in efforts to keep residents in the tri-state area safe, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut have issued a joint travel advisory. All individuals traveling from states with significant COVID-19 community spread must quarantine for 14 days. This includes any state with an infection rate higher than 10 per 100,000 people or a state with a 10% or higher positivity rate over a 7-day rolling average. I would also like to congratulate our high school and middle school David Burley graduates. I know your graduation may not have been how you have always envisioned. You have all worked very hard under very unusual circumstances and have done an amazing job. I wish you great success and all the best as you continue and pursue your dreams. Please stay safe and be well, everyone, and thank you. I'd like to move to the finance report. Wait, can I back up a little bit? I'm sorry, I'm just going to back up. I'm going to roll back. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2020 council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ladati, seconded by Councilwoman Tsiri. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Following communications were received, various advisories from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, Union County Community Development Shared Service Agreement and Annual Amendment Notice, and a letter of meter data review from the RVSA.
Is there a motion to accept communications?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ladati, seconded by Councilman Clementi. All in favor?
Aye.
I apologize, Councilman Lopez. Finance report, please. Thank
No,
you.
no worries. Thank you very much.
Jumping ahead. Jump into.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Finance Chairman report as of June 24th, 2020. Estimated tax bills for the third quarter are scheduled to be mailed out next week with a due date for August 1st. There's a grace period to August 10th. Payments must be received by the end of business day, August 10th. Otherwise, interest will be accrued back to the 1st. When calculating the annual tax bill amount, do not take the third quarter payment and multiply it by 4. This will overstate your annual amount. When the state passes their budget and tax rates are certified, we will be able to send annual bills. The annual bill will indicate the actual 2020 property tax amount. Payments can be made in person starting July 6th, and we will accept cash at that time. Borough departments will have been notified about their 2020 operating budgets and can proceed accordingly. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Department of Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I got is we had interviews on Monday night to hire a new laborer for the DPW since we have a retirement effective July 1st. That person will be appointed tonight to a resolution. The only other thing is starting in July, the Kenilworth DPW will be collecting the recycling from now on. We will not have an outside agency doing it anymore. And the north side will have July 7th. Will be their pickup date. The south side is July 14th, and then the north has the 21st, and the south has the 28th. So the north is July 7th and 21st. South is July 14th and the 28th. And that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Works, Councilman Clementi.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. For the month of June, I have a report from the chief. The Kenilworth Police Department wants all residents to be aware and on the alert for an increase in burglaries and thefts for unlocked motor vehicles in town. So just please make sure you lock your vehicles, remove any valuables, and do not leave your key fob in the vehicle because that's how they can easily steal them. So from the police blotter, on June 14th at 9 a.m., patrol units were dispatched to Tulip Court on the report of a stolen motor vehicle. Upon arrival, Patrolman Felipe reported that the resident's vehicle was stolen sometime around 1 a.m., and the vehicle was recovered about 3 days later in Newark, New Jersey. On June 24th at 8 a.m., patrol units were dispatched to the 500 block of Clinton Avenue on the report of a stolen motor vehicle. Upon arrival, Patrolman Torre spoke with the victim, who reported his company car was stolen from his driveway sometime overnight. Detectives determined that the vehicle was taken around 3 a.m., and the vehicle was recovered a few days later in the city of Newark and returned to the company with significant damage. On that same time, while investigating the stolen car, Patrolman Torrey was flagged down by a nearby resident who reported that his vehicle was burglarized overnight, and 2 cell phones were stolen, valued over $1,000. And again, on the 24th at 7:25 p.m., patrol was dispatched to the Acme supermarket on the report of a shoplifting. And upon arrival, Patrolman Torrey found Alfred Levitt, 49, of Brooklyn, in possession of stolen goods. Levitt was placed under arrest and charged with shoplifting and defiant trespassing. He was later released with the pending municipal court date. So Patrolman Torrey was quite busy on June the 24th. Just an announcement that in New Jersey, ground-based sparklers and novelties are illegal in the state of New Jersey. So anything that doesn't go off the ground, sparklers and novelties, smoke devices, those are all legal. But anything that's that goes up in the air or aerial is prohibited. And that would include like bottle rockets, skyrockets, firecrackers, Roman candles, and things like that. So I'm sure you see a lot of these things for sale now in supermarkets and other stores. So anything on the ground is okay. And then one last thing, a couple weeks ago, we had a pretty sad story where an animal was left in the vehicle unknowingly and by accident, and unfortunately passed away due to the heat. So please don't leave your animals in the car. Even if you leave the windows cracked open, it's not good enough. It still gets too hot in there. Just a couple things that open my eyes. If it's 75 degrees outside, it's 99 degrees inside the car. So right there, that's pretty much a death sentence. And if it's 77, it's 103. If it's 81, it's 112. And if it's 90, it's 119. So an animal really doesn't have a chance. So just a reminder of that, just check. If you have your pet with you in the car, just make sure you check that the pet comes out and you get to your destination. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilman Clementi. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Chouki.
Thank you, Mayor. We received a couple of complaints regarding a mural painted on a local business. The construction and planning and zoning subcommittee is going to meet with the zoning officer and take a look at it and discuss it and take further action if needed after that. That committee is myself, Councilman David, and Councilman Clemente. Second, our construction department is severely backed up. A significant amount of applications and the hardship created by the coronavirus has led to this backup. Everyone in the department is working hard to get us back on track. I certainly understand the frustration these delays cause for our residents. Our department, we've added some hours, and we hope that we should be back to the normal workflows within a few weeks. The planning board had its first telecommuting Zoom meeting the other week. We were able to conduct a full meeting and plan to continue this practice until we can meet in person again. Finally, I just want to take a moment and congratulate all the students who graduated this year. It's certainly a strange time, but your accomplishments have not gone unnoticed, and congratulations to all. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Chouki. Recreation and Fire, Councilwoman Cesari.
Thank you, Mayor. Very briefly, our parks for karate, Zumba, and yoga will be open for them to conduct those classes. Resolution will be needed by council, but I think we're all in agreement. Since there will be no summer camp this summer, the rec committee will be meeting to share ideas as for plans as far as what kind of activities can be instituted and to be safe to enact and to put into, to get going. Because our outdoor gatherings now could be up to 100 people. That went into effect June 15th. We're planning on doing crafts for the summer that involve family participation. Scavenger hunt, we are looking into doing something like that in, we don't know when, but we are looking to do a scavenger hunt. It's a fun thing to do, and hopefully like everybody will be involved and be a good thing to do. Movies in the park, we'd like to do that also. This year, there will be no Blue on the Boulevard. And let's see, that's all I have for oh, I'm sorry, 16th Street Park is now open for practice only. The playground equipment is still roped off. As for fire, I don't have anything for a report from Chief Kruger for the month of May. There will be no fireworks on the 28th. There is no makeup date. And as far as the carnival, we are waiting on that till the last minute. The fire department will be meeting to see when and if they could go forward with that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you,
Sevier.
Mayor.
Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilman Ladati. You're muted, Jerry.
Do you
There
have
you
me
go.
now?
We can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Every time it does that. Let's go to education first. Again, our graduates from Harding. They have a moving up ceremony, went well. Middle school, they graduated going into 9th grade. And of course, our seniors at David Brearley, moving on to future endeavors, college and whatever. I know there was a couple of glitches that I just found out tonight, and I will be trying to address those glitches and just give some answers to council about what happened and why they happened. Health Department, on September 26th, we will have our health fair. I'll try to have the large sign on the boulevard, say, health fair September 26th when we get close to that date. The only thing we're going to be doing at the health fair this year are flu vaccinations, and we're going to have some blood work. We're trying to get it to be a drive-through at St. Teresa's parking lot. That hasn't been confirmed yet. And again, we're looking for cost-efficient vaccine for the town and the health department to pay for. They're up to over 65 is up to $58 a shot. So that's quite high. We're trying to get it down to the $19, $20 level. Again, the farmers market will be starting up, and that's going to be policed by the health department again. They're going to watch for social separation, and they're going to have the markings on the field or in the front of the building of the Methodist Church. And kudos to the Methodist Church for allowing us to have our farmers market. We're hearing that pretty soon the libraries may be open. We're just waiting for final word from the governor and get, written confirmation about that happening. We put a lot of time, and I know the staff has at the library, getting it ready and moving forward with us having an opening. And again, I'd like to thank Senator Cory Booker, for addressing our seniors at graduation, or at least virtual graduation. And if I'm not mistaken, Mayor, I believe July 26th might be a regular graduation for our students.
That's
Again,
I believe the high school. The middle school is July 22nd.
the high school.
Right. The middle school is July 22nd.
Oh, 22nd. I'm sorry. I just wasn't 100% sure. I know Marconi Coppice, our health officer, is working with the superintendent on numbers of what we can do. So that's always a plus there. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Councilman Ladati. Next for council
Thank you.
consideration is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Cesari, seconded by Councilman Ladati. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Resolutions 1 through 19 are listed on the consent agenda and will be enacted by one motion. All items will be recorded individually in full in the minutes. Councilwoman Cesari,
Yes.
Councilman Clementi,
Yes.
Councilman David,
Yes.
Councilman Ladati,
Yes.
Councilman Lopez,
Yes.
and Councilman Shelkey.
Yes.
Okay,
Also, during the work session of the governing body, a resolution was presented. Whereas the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth is desirous of assisting the local restaurants during the COVID-19 pandemic reopening phases, and whereas the governing body authorizes the trial basis closure of the boulevard at County Roadway from North 19th Street through North 23rd Street, Thursdays through Sundays from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Be it resolved that this is contingent upon approval from the County of Union and compliance with public health and safety requirements. Be it further resolved that this approval is for a trial basis and may be rescinded at any time by the governing body should it be determined that is detrimental to the public health and safety of the citizens. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Cesari and seconded by Councilman David?
Yep.
Councilman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman Clementi?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Ladati?
Yes.
Councilman Lopez?
Yes.
And Councilman Shelkey.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Ladati, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
In accordance with the meeting protocol for remote meetings during COVID-19 public health emergency protocol, no emails were received from the public.
Okay, is there a motion, if, there's no one from the public, I'd like to make a motion to close the floor to the public.
Motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman David and seconded by Councilman Clementi.
Pickle.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of Kenilworth?
Madam Mayor, did we have to, the item that Councilman Clemente brought up, adding hours in our construction department, did we have to, vote on that tonight? Madam Clerk, maybe I should, yeah, Laura, do we have to vote on that?
Are we talking about adding hours to a certain official?
Yes.
We also have to confirm the availability of funds
Okay.
on that. So what we could do is we could confirm that, and I could do the resolution at the July meeting and make it retroactive back to July 1st.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, there's nothing else to be brought before the council. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion made by Councilman David, seconded by Councilman Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night,
Have a good night,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.